Just come back home. This is what mothers tell their sons in times of war. Today, it might be fathers telling their daughters. We all want our children to be safe and not harmed. There will be a day that the world sees that war is obsolete. War truly never is the answer. We have war machines that think it is. We have a vast military-industrial complex that is dependent on war. Let's face it, war is a profit-making business. Sad, but true. We need the same people in charge to see that peace is a profit-making business. When there is peace, there is cooperation. When there's cooperation, countries trade with one another. When this happens, the need for war slowly fades away. Why do we think it's our patriotic duty to send our loved ones to war? We are trained to believe this. If you are a peaceful human being, you are considered weird and unpatriotic. Wow. Do we ever get our values screwed up? War is not the answer. Look at Afghanistan. We've been there for 16 years. Yet the war has not been won. Even the generals know it can never be won. Yet trillions have been spent. More people are coming. It's time for our political system to think outside of the box. How can we stop wars around the world? What kind of new dialogue can we have with each other? How can we speak from kindness and not anger? How can we truly listen to each other? How do we compromise? How can we ponder things over and then speak? This way we won't be putting gasoline on the fire. Things won't escalate out of control. We need to be more aware of our true nature. Without that, the record will be playing the same old song. War, war, war. Ponder this over. Let's change our ways. We owe it to our future generations. Just come back home. One area that desperately needs kindness is our current state of politics in America. The fire of anger is a huge forest fire. It has consumed America. We have a president who loves to add gasoline to the fire. You can see the side effects when one rules with anger. The president even says that he can pardon himself. I never knew that a president can be a dictator. Look, I'm not Republican or Democrat. I believe in kindness for all. If you are kind, you can't make laws that will benefit for all. You don't want to build a wall. That has been done before and didn't solve anything. You want to build a bridge of kindness. For example, so many children are separated from their parents when trying to enter the country. Jeff Sessions basically said, "Tough luck. You know the consequences when you try to enter the country. Where's your heart?" It almost reminds me of the Nazis. Didn't we learn that story years ago? Apparently not. Personally, I think there's no more morals or ethics running America. We have a president who doesn't tell the truth. He has a campaign that calls the press fake news. He mocks the FBI and the Department of Justice. He knows what he's doing. He's tearing America apart. I could go on and on. Our allies are totally freaked out and they don't know what to do. He doesn't listen to them. He knows what's right for the world. You see, without kindness, things can go totally astray. We need a president and Congress to lead from kindness. Never before have we seen such an example when one rules like a dictator. In my eyes, unfortunately, our president is leading like a dictator, not a president. A dictator makes all the decisions. He doesn't listen to anyone. A dictator will tweet whatever comes to his mind at 3 in the morning. A president will ponder things over. He will consult with his advisors before making any decisions or making statements. He would not call the leader of North Korea Little Rocket Man or my button is bigger than your button. Without kindness, you would never get out of the Paris Accord. Without kindness, you would never get out of the Paris Accord. Saving the planet is the utmost importance. We are sawing off the branch we are sitting on. Anyone with common sense knows this. We need to do more, not less. The United States must be leaders in showing the world that we are serious. Currently, the world looks at us and shakes their head. The same goes for the Iran deal. 5 long years were spent in negotiating a deal with Iran. All the major countries were involved. A deal was created and everyone signed on the dotted line. Our president comes and says he will no longer abide by it. How's that for being trustworthy? The world can no longer believe in our words. Look, ethics and morals are a complete package. You must use them in all affairs of life. When you think you don't need them, your mind and ego will not be in check. In essence, the political system will be in chaos. Our country can't be stable without ethics and morals. It is the building blocks for America and the world. Personally, I think we need to vote for any person in the office who holds these values to heart. If a person has a negative campaign or uses negative advertisements, don't vote for him. If a person gets money from lobbyists, don't vote for him. Vote for the person who truly represents the common person. The time for the super rich and elite must change. We need laws that are kind to the common person. Our whole system needs to be rebooted. Fortunately, people are stepping up to the plate. Many common people see this and are motivated. Kindness must be expressed between both parties in order to survive. Need I say more? A great wall has divided us. They can't stand one another. Do you see where the lack of kindness affects all areas of life? The current system is acting like kindergartners. At least kindergartners are kind to one another. Currently, we are emotionally dysfunctional. If I'm wrong, please show me. Hatred and anger are the norms. Yes, we currently totally embrace them, but they are not our true nature. We need to discover our true nature before we can truly transform political systems. War is not the answer. Anger and hatred is not the answer. Kindness is the answer. Can you imagine if the entire world started to act this way? Can you imagine if the entire world would tap into the ocean of kindness on a day-to-day basis?
All change must occur inside. From that state will manifest outside into this world. The entire world needs to learn and utilize this. This will not change your religion. This will make you tolerant of all religions. Yesterday, my wife and I went to a coffee shop. Well, we ordered the coffee. They had a question of the day. How many religions are there around the world? The answer is over 4,000. Wow, that's a lot. Well, how would the world be if they were all tolerant with one another? How could we see the difference and yet at the same time the unity of all? There's a thread of love tying us all together. Imagine if countries and politicians would see this and embrace all. You see bigotry and racism and fear of your opponent's religion's belief is a mindset. You are seeing through tainted glasses. You totally think you are justified, yet your thinking is extremely narrow-minded. You think your views are totally correct. If you think that one religion is better than another one, you are thinking in an extremely narrow way. Currently, our administration has this point of view. When calling all peoples of certain religion terrorists, it just divides us all. Personally, maybe there should be a law. If a president does this time and time again, we should impeach him. He must not divide this country. I have a friend named Todd. About 2 years ago, we had a discussion. We said the president really doesn't have any power. Well, 2 years later, he said he was totally wrong. Personally, I believe any major decision should be made between the president and Congress. The president can't, at his whim, back out of the Paris Accord. If you want to create a trade war, it must be approved by Congress. This is the check of balances. Our current president does what he wants and doesn't want any practical advice from the experts. I can't believe the lack of kindness in our present administration. In fact, it is evil to the core. How can you justify separating children from our parents? Our President, Attorney General, and Director of Homeland Security all are in agreement of this policy. How did America lose its moral core? Fortunately, there are Republicans and Democrats who are trying to do something about it. Even Lord Bush spoke up against this policy. Are we going back to the Dark Ages? You see, kindness is needed more than ever. If you have kind people in charge, the world, this would never happen. Hopefully, you see the correlation between your emotions and your actions. For example, Jeff Sessions, who instigated this policy, did not have, at this moment in time, kindness for these people. He even said he wants to teach them a lesson. Many of these families are fleeing violence in their countries. They left because of the fear of death. Where is the grace, mercy, love, kindness, and compassion? Personally, their state of mind is like all past evil dictators in the past. No difference. I never thought America would succumb to this negative level. We are shining light to this world. People all around the world look up to us. Not anymore. We have a corrupt administration. We have an administration that is not kind. Without kindness, the system will be corrupt. As I said before, kindness is the foundation of life. Many people think this is a Pollyanna attitude, but look what's going on in America today. In just a year and a half, our great country is going down the drain. We need Republicans and Democrats to unite in kindness and stop this nonsense. We can pray to God for guidance, but only human beings can clean up the mess we created. This is why I'm harping on being kind. If everyone was kind, we would have a kind world. Look, this doesn't involve changing religion. This is being aware of your true nature. Your true nature is kind. Maybe you should ponder this over. How can the kingdom of heaven come to earth? Suppose your Savior came back. Would the world around you change if you weren't kind? No, it wouldn't. So the Savior can be there, yet if you are unkind, the situation remains the same. Only by discovering your piece of the puzzle can the puzzle be complete. You may think I'm joking, but I'm serious. For example, if Jeff Sessions would be in a state of kindness, this separating of families would never happen. We would have kind laws. We, as a nation, would be conscious of going from darkness to light. Presently, we are going from light to darkness. Hopefully, this is temporary. 2 steps forward, 1 step backward. We need to see that kindness is needed to exist at every level of life. We need to have Congress see the unity of all, no more being divided. Each one has a great point of view. The common citizen must be listened to, not the 1%. We, as a world, can do this. The state of kindness exists inside. Hopefully, in the future, politicians will pass laws that are truly kind. We won't have a president who lies daily and mocks everyone. Look, I'm just saying what everyone has seen. I'm not a Republican or Democrat. I'm looking through the lens of kindness. I'm trying to see a practical solution to end this vicious cycle we are on. We all know that war is not the answer, yet we've been fighting for thousands of years. Only kindness will solve it.
Do we have a diplomat in office? It's more like an egomaniac. What kind of president ups the ante towards nuclear way by saying the following? The American military was locked and loaded for conflict should North Korea act unwisely. I think the president should listen to his own words. Each day, it's his words alone brings the United States to the brink of war. He plays a poker game with serious consequences. Each day he ups the ante in rhetoric. He seems to enjoy placing gasoline on the fire. He seems like the bully at the playground, so arrogant. Millions of people are held hostage to his words. Nuclear bombs were meant to be a deterrent to war. All the past presidents, and even the Soviets, knew that. I watched carefully before the election. He was curious about our nuclear arsenal. He asked questions that didn't seem normal. Now he has the codes to launch in his hands. Frankly, that scares me. He will never back down. He will never give an apology. How in the world did he get in office? I have never seen a president who's so callous towards life. Millions of people could die. Yet, day by day, he is upping the ante. All the news media is saying, shut your mouth. You are instigating a nuclear war. How can diplomacy ever happen when you are spouting these words? Did your parents ever teach you any manners? You ran your business like a tyrant. Now the tyrant has become the President of the United States. I have always supported our presidents. I may not always support their issues, but I support the past presidents. But when a president has so much ego that he brings a country to the brink of nuclear war, I can't support him. As Theodore Roosevelt once said, walk slowly, but carry a big stick. In the past, the United States and the world would not respond like Mr. Trump. He thought they were too weak. I call that great strength. It's so easy to spout out and flame your opponent. Diplomats learn the art of communication. Mr. Trump is not a diplomat. He is running the United States like a big business. Unfortunately, it can't be that way. So in the background, I'm assuming that some sort of communications is going on. Yet, how can you communicate with North Korea when our president, day by day, gleefully ups the ante? I feel like he thinks it's his own personal stock of weapons that he can use wherever he wants. That truly scares me, and probably the world. I have never seen a president take such interest in our nuclear arsenal. I hope China comes in to rescue the world. I hope they come to their senses. The whole world could be impacted by this. Remember, World War I got started by assassination and all hell broke loose. Now we have a president saying such crazy words that World War III could start. I don't even think he cares, otherwise he would shut up and not say anything. Personally, I think the president should not say anything to the press until this critical issue gets solved. That's why we have diplomats. That's how the past presidents did it. Yet, that took time. Now, we don't have time. Yet day by day, I wonder what kind of threats he is saying. Can't Congress do anything about it? Why aren't we just sitting there and not doing anything? To be frank, if a CEO says this, he would be fired. Is there any conditions where if a president brings us to war by his rhetoric, he should be dismissed? This is exactly what is happening. Somehow, the people of our nations knows it's wrong. We know we have a serious bully in office. Need I say more? But his actions could have serious consequences for millions of people. I hope our president would wake up. His ego and pride could cause catastrophe to millions. When he said locked and loaded, it meant he will never back down. I don't like to say this, but we have a maniac in office. His pride and ego is worth more than millions of lives. What a sad day this is. When I was just a kid, I heard about Martin Luther King. I was white and he was black. Unfortunately, when I was a child, nobody really taught me what was going on. I wasn't prejudiced, yet I didn't know about other people's plight in our country. As I got older, I read about his life. He believed in nonviolence. Isn't it amazing how backwards we are? We say we believe in freedom for all, yet Martin died in the struggle. His dream lives on. He did not die in vain. People all around the world carry his dream. Whether a man is black or white, the dream lives on. I have a dream. His dream exists inside of you and me. Thank you, Martin Luther King. At times, I think newborn mothers should be the dominant force in ruling us. Imagine, a newborn mother will never want her infant to go to war. She would say, war is obsolete. Let's find a better way to solve this problem. A mother has the best interest to educate the children. She doesn't want anyone to go hungry. Both sides of the parties wouldn't fight one another. Mothers know how to compromise. They have the best interest in mind. They would have term limits so nobody would get greedy in power. We have seen what happens today with term limits. A mother would have patience, tolerance, compassion, and love. These are the qualities which are needed by the rulers today. We do not need rulers who have no respect for one another. We don't need rulers who mock those who disagree with you. We don't need rulers who say, I could shoot someone in the street and they would still vote for me. We need to change. I like my solution. Last night, I watched the evening news on Christmas Day. The news for the day was man doing good deeds for one another. No shooting or murder was shown. Just simple acts of kindness. Just one human being helping out another. We need to see this more on TV. I know violence sells, yet this goes beyond the money. Let's create hope in the news. Let's change the channel of violence to a channel of good deeds. Imagine if every night we would watch good news. How much would our attitude of the world change? Rambling acts of kindness to our fellow man. A simple smile to someone who is sad. Helping an elderly person crossing the street. If we all perform good deeds with one another, this world would change. There would be peace on earth. Is our life on remote control? We're so driven and distracted by our devices. We can't live without our cell phones. People have died from texting. Is it really worth that message you texted while you died so young? We have completely forgotten our true nature. Okay, so Facebook is cool. But living your life moment by moment is really cool. You are the universe, yet your life is on remote control. What could be sadder? You can solve this puzzle. After I wrote this book on kindness, I saw on a Facebook post from a New Zealand Prime Minister, Jacinda Ardern, and it's a new kind of style of leadership. She says it takes courage and strength to be empathetic. Well, I just hope you take a few minutes and listen to what she has to say. For me, I totally welcome this kind of change in our politics. It makes a kinder place in this world.
And strength to be empathetic. And I'm very proudly an empathetic, compassionately driven politician. I've made a very deliberate decision that in the Westminster style of politics that we have in New Zealand, which is very adversarial, that there is a place for us to still push back a little bit on that. I've always said that it takes courage and strength to be empathetic. And I'm very proudly an empathetic, compassionately driven politician. We teach kindness and empathy and compassion to our children, but then we somehow, when it comes to political leadership, want a complete absence of that. So I am trying to chart a different path that will attract critics, but I can only be true to myself in the form of leadership that I believe in. So now it's a global market, and with that comes, I think, a little bit of fear of job security, fear around whether or not your children will have the same opportunities that you had. And so our response as political leaders can either be twofold. We can capitalize on that fear by blaming others and saying that the answer is to become more and more insular, to become protectionist, to build up those walls around us so that we can retreat back to yesteryear. The alternative for us is actually to give a message of hope. So that actually we can provide for our domestic constituencies. You can expect to have decent healthcare, decent education, and a roof over your head. And we can provide that job security if we plan for the future and if we choose not to blame. And so I put myself firmly in that constituency. We have a responsibility as politicians in the language that we use, but also the policies that we provide and the hope that we deliver.
I admit, I don't know who's crazier, our president or Kim from North Korea. Both of them are extremely unstable leaders. When a president threatens North Korea with fire and fury never seen before, does he understand what he is doing? The next day, he ups the ante by saying talk about fire and fury wasn't tough enough. He is putting tons of gasoline on a fire. These are the signposts North Korea needs to build its case for building nuclear weapons. See, we need to defend ourselves for the United States. John King took exception to the president's words. He said, walk softly, but carry a big stick. War will never be the answer to this problem. We have a president who can push the button anytime he likes. We have a president who never backs down. He will never admit his mistakes. He will never give an apology. He will never listen to advice. I think our president needs to go back 60-some years to the Korean War. Millions of people lost their lives. They have never forgotten that fact. They built these nuclear weapons to demonstrate to the world we can defend ourselves. Look, I'm not a politician. I'm trying to have common sense. Rule number 1, don't put gasoline on the fire. With the president's few words, he escalated the situation. Unfortunately, there's no turning back. The president has brought us to the brink of war. A wise president would huddle around his advisors and give a speech. He would say, let's use diplomatic channels to resolve the situation. Frankly, I feel uneasy when our presidents would say such words. Nuclear war is devastation. Just ask the Chinese, Japanese, and unfortunately, we have nuclear bombs today that makes Japan's destruction like kindergarten. Robert Oppenheimer, the head of Los Alamos, who created the nuclear bomb, said the following quote from the Bhagavad Gita: "Now I have become death, the destroyer of worlds." This is the kind of destruction we have. So how do we go beyond this? War is obsolete. We need a president who ponders over his words before he speaks. Frankly, I don't know how to get out of this situation. I would have the world talk directly to China to babysit its neighbors. China must make a stand. I'm not a fan of Donald Trump, yet he won the election fair and square. Even if the Russians did hack the DNC, let's give his administration a chance. We judge even before he got into office. He won the electoral vote. Some of his policies I like, while others I do not. We elected him. Americans are fed up. Politicians spew words and the majority of them don't deliver. I'm hoping and praying that he will make a difference.
When it comes to politics, hold your emotions. Don't spew anger. Be tolerant towards the other side. Be calm. Be united. Look at both sides of the issue. Don't sink to the level of your opponent. That may be difficult. You can do it. Merge your ethics and actions together. Don't speak whatever comes to your mind. Stop, look, and listen. There is an art to holding back your anger. Unfortunately, we are throwing stones at each other. In order to change America, we must be united. We must become one regardless of our points of view.
I love President Obama. In my eyes, he did an incredible job. Many of my friends despised him. To be truthful, I think they are racist. I feel that Obama put his body, mind, heart, and soul into his job. He had to make many difficult decisions. He got a lot done, despite Congress saying they would go against him all along the way. They complained when he used executive orders. How else do you think he could get his job done? The Republicans criticized him every step of the way. He and his wife kept their composure. There were no scandals on board his watch. I feel he was a man of dignity. Time will tell what Americans think. I admit I'm a little confused. In older times, a president would be thrown out of office saying such things. I can grab a woman by the pussy and get away with it. I can shoot someone in the street and nobody would care. They would still vote for me. Let's build a giant wall and Mexico will help build it. No more Muslims will be allowed into our country. Let's put Hillary into prison. The list goes on and on. Yet America voted for him. Have we lost our morals? We know the system is broken. Both parties have lost touch with the common American. A president used to be dignified. You're fired is coming your way. I saw another round of boxing in the political arena today. Both sides were doing the battles of words. You did this to me. Well, you did this to me. You are a liar. Well, you are a liar. You would not make a good president. Well, you would not make a good president. It sounds like immature people fighting. Do we want these jokers to be president? Let's hear about the real issues. Is the world like a drama queen? Are we addicted to drama? We have wars and politicians can hardly wait to start another war. We have huge sporting events where thousands of people are rooting for their team. At times, fights break out in the stands. Our evening news is all about the latest drama in the news. Have we, as a society, become a drama queen? We love reality TV. We love the drama of it. Boy, did you see that episode? That was crazy. Our mind loves drama. It doesn't know anything different. You want peace, and your mind wants drama. The wise man says, think this over. How do I acquire peace inside? That is the first step. How can a politician get his job done when he's always campaigning? Do politicians know the difference between the truth and spinning the truth? Why do politicians tear each other down? Do you think there's no finger pointing your way? There's got to be a better way. Does the politician stand for Americans or big business? Laws are made secretly for big business. Favors are going their way. The American people don't need favors. We need justice. Can any of the present politicians lead the way? If you have problems walking in the dark, bring a flashlight. The light will help you on your way. Man needs a light to show him the way. We are all stumbling in the dark. We have yet to find the way. Turn on your flashlight. You will find the way. is man's potential? How far can we go? Is it endless, or does it have an end? Man can reach for the stars. There are so many different avenues man can strive. How would it be if a man decided to find peace? This is man's greatest potential. To bring man to the moon, to govern the nation. There's nothing wrong with that. But when a man finds peace, if this world can find peace, man will then just begin to realize his true potential. Peace and wisdom lie within. Is life like a storm? Your life seems so peaceful, and all of a sudden a huge storm comes in. You hold on for dear life. Man can't escape the storms of life. They are a part of nature. Yet man can be in the center of the hurricane. The winds are all around, but you're there and it's not touching you. Life is stormy, but it has its days where you're lying in the sun, soaking up the rays. Realize who you are and your life will change. You will be in the center of the hurricane. This life is a diamond. At times we think it is a rock. No matter what we do, the diamond lies within. We could be a saint or a sinner. The diamond does not judge. Life goes on. Man carries on his ways, good, bad, or indifferent. The diamond can never get tarnished. We can. This diamond will never judge us, otherwise we would all be dead. This diamond supports us. It is the essence of our life. Every one of us has this precious diamond. It is the most priceless thing in the universe. Your life is valuable. Realize how precious you are. You were made to soar.
I remember watching the debates between Clinton and Trump. At one point, Donald said on live TV the following. He urged the Russians to hack into and release Hillary's emails. If he said this 60 years ago, he would have been thrown into jail. The Russians did hack us. The CIA, FBI, and all the intelligence agencies said the Russians did the hack. Donald said they were telling him a lie. Does Mr. Trump know more than the entire intelligence gathering of America? He refuses to receive his daily briefings. It takes time away from his affairs. Yet, you are the president. This is your new job. The world changes hour by hour. You need to know and respond moment by moment. Your job is not a walk in the park. Only time will tell what you did during your presidency. Recently, I saw in the news that our president said the following. He said all great nations build walls. He said that Mexico would pay for ours. Where in his mind can he say such a thing and Congress accept this? Does he have any humanity in him? Does he have any morals? How can we as a society elect him? He said that he could kill someone on the street and people would still elect him. That was the truth. How many good Christians voted for the man? I know that we all both are fed up with both political parties. That's how he got elected. He was a wild card. We need to take a good look at why he got elected. America has to change. We must live by good values.
Here we are, living on this planet in such a vast universe. Throughout our existence, man has been fighting with himself for thousands of years. Can we as a race ever come to a common understanding that we can cooperate with each other? Each nation has its own goals and dreams. Yet all nations, deep at its essence, want the people to have true joy and happiness in their life. Deep inside our consciousness, this is what man wants. Because we are so lost at times in our own pursuit, we can't compromise with another people, society, or country. Mankind has to learn to be tolerant with one another and to have compassion for his fellow man. We are approaching a time when we have to change our ways. In a few years, a vast network is being created. What happens anywhere in the world can be known within minutes, anywhere in the world. We as a people need to focus on global ways to help this planet. We all believe in the same God, but have different expressions of it. This is exciting times for man. I feel our leaders need to take a look at their actions. Where are they headed? Do they have the world and country in their best interest, or is that a hidden agenda? The American people is sick and tired of the waste and greed in our government. Everybody wants change, but nobody knows how. We have gotten ourselves in a great mess. I feel the only way a nation and a world can change properly is the people must change themselves. We have to first take the necessary steps. If we would change accordingly, the world around us would change. The consciousness of man has to change. We must pull in the reins of our lives. America has great potential. We can be leaders in this world. Each of us can be citizens in this global world. We are all so different and yet also similar. Let's think a change that we're proud of. Let's not be shaded by that we know what's right for some culture, country, or person. Let's be open and give a helping hand for those in need.